Well, ladies and gentlemen, that Legends of Tomorrow finale was just... It just was, and if you disagree, then I suppose this review may or may not be for you, may still be for you, maybe I could change your mind, but maybe not, I don't know. This finale was crazy, weird, wacky, and I honestly don't think there was really much, if anything at all, wrong with it, because it paid off a lot of things. It had a crazy, wacky aspect to it, which Legends of Tomorrow obviously consists of, and what makes it so unique. And I just thought it was incredible. So as always, everybody, I'm going to go through this review, but if you want to see more from this channel, why not subscribe? Because you'll see, yeah, more videos like this from Legends of Tomorrow. I do plan to cover it a lot more next season, and obviously updates during the summer break and stuff like that. And if you go on to enjoy this review, why not hit that like button, because it really freaking does help out the channel. But let's start right at the beginning of the episode. It practically started off right from the end of last episode, and we had a very sad moment, and that's the thing I love about Legends of Tomorrow, and I mentioned this in my previous trailer breakdown, I think, just how Legends can have a weird sentimental kind of feelsy moments, even to the point where I tear up, yet it can have other extreme moments which completely just none of the Arrowverse shows even attempt to do, because they just couldn't pull it off. Like, for example, you know, the ending bits, or just any of the wacky bits in Legends. So I love how this show can still have the ability to hit you in the feels and just go crazy, and that is with good old Rip Hunter, just making that sacrifice with the time drive that was going to critical mass or something like that. He was basically doing it to temporarily kind of take Malice away from the Legends so they can make their escape, which would cost Rip his life. But obviously, I think, guys, do not worry, he probably will be coming back. It would just be weird if he didn't, at the very least, just show up just once or twice more, but I think he will show up more than that. But either way, even though, like, the first season of Legends surrounded Rip, and it was very much so him, and then it kind of got lesser and lesser and lesser, and he wasn't the captain anymore, Sarah's the captain, I still have a special spot for him in my heart. So, like, when he was, you know, saying, you know, I also very much miss you guys, and, you know, I so very much miss my wife and my child, that just does it for me. I love it. And then shortly moving on after that, ladies and gentlemen, the Legends moved to the Wild Wild West, which is, as we've known from previous seasons, like this temporal blind spot to kind of hide the totems there from Malice. But even though Malice is already, like, kind of there, well, he's kind of, like, chilling because of what freaking Rip did to him. But yeah, the Romans, the Vikings, and the pirates are there, and they're all under the kind of influence of Mallus, or Malice, whatever way you want to freaking pronounce it, but I'm just going to pronounce it probably different every time. But this also reminds me of what I said in my trailer breakdown. I feel like anyone could predict this. When we found out from the synopsis in this episode that he was going to be left in charge of Damien Darhk, well, of course, he was going to do something, and that was also break Damien Darhk out, and that was this other part of the story. I was like, Ray, you idiot, you're going back in time? Like, Ray, really? And it also reminds me, I really love Nate, and I just love kind of how chill he was about it. I think it's because Ray's his best friend, and it's like, yeah, Damien Darhk, like, one of the biggest evil baddies out there, kind of in the previous few seasons of the Arrowverse, that they've made a big deal of, just chilling in the, you know, the jump ship, and he got punched in the face. He went back to him, like, Ray with his big banana hands just punched me in the face. I just love how it's a big deal, but he was just so downplaying it in the meantime. But that is what led Nate to, anyway, explain this to Amaya, and they went on one little big drug trip, that doesn't make much sense. Drug trip to the original totem bearers, where they found out that they have to work together and hold hands to defeat Malice. And yeah, that's the one way they defeat him. They hold hands, they think of something pretty awesome that they could, like, spawn or project, and then that will hopefully defeat him, and that's how the original Totem Bearers did it as well. And obviously, I just want to give a shout out to Nate being high throughout this episode. It was pretty freaking hilarious. I don't know. I love just little things like this in Legends. It's what I appreciate so much about this show. And I'm just so annoyed I didn't review it sooner, because I love talking about it as well. Now, of course, they held hands. They actually did it. They did what we were just talking about. They, in the Wild West, they were holding hands, and they were kind of thinking or practicing, trying to turn the totems on, thinking of something nice. And they spawned this weird-ass xenomorphy, alien-y little thing. I loved it, though. I feel like even though, which made me freaking laugh, because I burned it or something like that, he just had to get it. He just had to put it out of its misery, as he put it in his own words. I felt sorry for that little thing. Like, whatever they created or whatever it was, dude. It was a living thing, and it died, or did it? I've got a feeling, and it really wouldn't surprise me if this little lump of flesh or whatever it was comes back next season to do something, or maybe takes revenge against you know, the legends, because at this show, I mean, come on, any prediction out there, anyone's crazy prediction is technically not wrong when it comes to this show. And then also in this episode, we had Jack's return, but also of Helen of Troy, or Helen of the Mascara, whatever one is up to you, I suppose. She was a really big badass in this episode, and I thought that was pretty awesome. But also Jack's, really surprising stuff. I was really hoping maybe it would mean that somehow he was returning and could wield the fire totem. Even like jumping kind of towards the end of the episode where they were handing the totems back, I thought, come on, Jax, come on, stay. But as soon as we found out that little Jaxie boy was I was about to say he's pregnant. What? Found out they had a baby, and it's been like 5 years for him. I was like, wow, I feel like maybe they really are kind of temporarily suspending that character from coming back. I mean, how can you make the excuse for him leaving his daughter now? And he even made the point that she is the light of his life. So I don't think he'll be returning anytime soon, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, guys, let's go back to Ray and Damien. They're kind of successful, I guess. And this was another surprising factor. Ray kind of got Damien's daughter back. But as a result, Damien Darhk sacrificed his life doing the last one good thing he could possibly do. Because he's kind of okay now. He's too old for all the dark stuff, no pun intended. He was the one who then transformed into the freaking demon that is Mallus, or was at least the host, or whatever way you want to look at it. Mallus still looked the same though, but yeah, I mean, you know what I mean. Now, technically, that does mean Damien Darhk is dead, but if there's one thing I've learned, characters like him, they come back. I don't know if it's a loyalty to cast and crew, cast, whatever. But, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing him again. He has been, I feel like people are getting a little bit tired of Damien. I mean, I know he was Season 2's main villain, fair enough. I mean, amongst the Legion of Doom. But now he's been in Season 3. I mean, it's just like, I bet we will see him maybe at least once next season, but I don't know, I feel like they probably won't make a bigger deal out of him now since he's dead, but it's not like a reverse Flash thing, I don't think, because he can always kind of come back one way or another, but Damien Darhk, I feel like, has to be a bit more specific than that. As a result of stuff like this, I like how they kind of pointed things out, but obviously Kawasa came back anyway, but Kawasa is now good now because she never suffered during the war, she never worked for the Dark, so all is good there, and she shares the totem with Mari. Now, up until this point in the episode, I feel like the pacing, everything, it's been great. Obviously, I can't mention all the very, very in-between scenes, like when they're having the drink speech, the legend speech, that was awesome. I mean, I'm technically talking about it now, even though I just said I can't mention it. But you know what I mean? Little things like that, I feel like played in nicely amongst the main points I feel like I've spoken about, and then what's left up until the main bit I want to talk about, which is by far the most fantastic part of the episode, is that lovely fight choreography scene just before the bit I'm about to talk about. That was all great. We had Helen of Troy slaying absolutely brilliantly. I loved her shots with the revolvers as well. I forgot to mention Jonah Hex up until now. He was great. I kind of like that his little interactions with Zarya, and she kind of finds him hot and stuff like that. I got a feeling that definitely will when we see him again next season, because I feel like he is going to be like in at least one episode a season. I feel like they will at least kiss, or the romance will be continued on then. Ava's role to play wasn't so big in this episode. I mean, I suppose without her, you would have had Kawasa or anyone come back. But yeah, she wasn't much of a focus in this episode, but I still really enjoyed her riding the horse with Sarah on the back, just things like that. And these next scenes I'm talking about, brilliant. I just feel like this episode didn't have any clunkiness to it. The messiness that it was, if anything, is just Legends of Tomorrow. And honestly, really enjoyed everything up until the bit I'm now going to talk about, which was frickin' the Legends summoning a gigantic Bebo. Now, this actually was one of the theories I've spoken about with not only friends, but like it was out there on the internet. Now, I feel like people were thinking if Constantine was coming back in this final episode, which was confirmed, and I was wondering that throughout the episode. I thought maybe he would put something into it, a doll of Bebo, and somehow he would go up against Malice, or maybe he would put Malice in Bebo and imprison him that way. Just all these wacky thoughts coming out, but of course there was one where it was literally Bebo versus Malice, which, oh man, this was absolutely fantastic. I absolutely found it hilarious to build up to it when they were actually, you know, activating the totems again, and then they were thinking of something truly awesome because you needed to, I guess, project it into something to take down Mallus. And that Nate was just like, oh god, yep, I'm thinking of it. And they were like, oh, yep, me too. I can't stop thinking about it now. And of course, that was Bebo. I have already mentioned in this review so far, people, that obviously this yeah, everyone knows Legends is just absolutely crazy. But I would have to say this final boss battle, if you will, is the personification of Legends of Tomorrow and what they can get away with, and how fans like me and you, who are very into the Arrowverse, and still the serious elements of other shows, but still love this weird wackiness that is Bebo fighting Malice. It was just brilliant. I love how I just imagine them all in there like being this big doll as well as soon as it was happening. Not doll, but teddy bear, whatever you want to call them. It was just hilarious. Obviously, the CGI wasn't even that bad as well. It was pretty cool, in fact. But anyway, the Legends, of course, absolutely dominated Malice. They slayed him, and then it left a massive, great big crater with a load of freaking Bebo stuffing inside coming out, and yeah, that was, I guess, the end of the demon that is Malice and Damien Darhk for good. I mean, I guess Damien Darhk passed away before that, but I really don't know what more I can say about that moment. Absolutely fantastic, as Mick says, worst orgy ever, but it was just brilliant. More stuff like this, Legends. Please just keep this up next season. Please. Now, the following bits after that wrap up the episode is, of course, Ray giving Nora Damien Darhk's time stone before she went back to the Time Bureau's little prison. They obviously definitely have a thing that I still think might get explored in future seasons. Now, I don't know if Nora's going to come back next season. I don't even know if I particularly want her to so much. Maybe she could come back for an episode or two at most. Maybe have a little bit of storyline with Ray. But yeah, I don't know if she will be a main focus at all next season. I feel like that would be... I feel like fans don't want that too much. I'm not sure, really. I'd love to know your thoughts about that. Do you want Nora to return now she's got this time stone? And of course, Amaya is going back to Zambezi. This was like an inevitable thing, really. And you have to feel for Nate, because they dragged this storyline out forever now. Like, she's needing to go back to Zambezi. She needs to go back to Zambezi, because Nate and Amaya have been a thing for a long time, and it's been, yeah, an inevitable thing. But apparently she still might be coming back next season, and I'm really looking forward to see how the writers come up with a way for that happening, because obviously she still needs to find her future husband and give birth to, you know, her daughters who also carry the totem. And then everybody, right at the end of the episode, we go to Mick's probably favorite place in the world, which is Aruba. But he didn't want the Legends to come with him, but, you know, they were like, good shout. And I guess that's it. They're just, you know, it's this kind of comedic ending where it's like, oh man, after all the anachronisms and everything we've been through, we defeated Mallus, the Time Bureau just still, you know, sorting out the anachronisms that we've left behind, but who cares? Let's have a good time. And then Constantine shows up. I mean, yes, we had Gary as well, just being a memey little Constantine. But yeah, I mean, this was his, as if you didn't know already, but I'm sure you do, Constantine will be a series regular next season. Which is absolutely amazing in my books. And he brought like this severed dragon's head. Now, I don't know if you would call it a demon's head, because I believe he said something like Mallus wasn't the only one you opened up the door to when Mallus escaped, but others are coming out too through the freaking dragon's head on the floor. So it does look like, and I know some people were worried about this, but I am just speculating that obviously next season, especially with Constantine being a regular, is going to be kind of very much so demon-y based, maybe magic-y based. We'll have to wait and see, but I feel like it's a no-brainer, at least for a couple of episodes, until they sort out what the heck is going on with all these severed heady kind of other Malices, potentially, which is ridiculous. Constantine is going to need to be around, and he's going to be there all season long, so get yourself strapped in for that, and I can't wait. And everyone's just like, obviously, in the meantime, oh god, here we go again. But what do I have to say about this finale? I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I know I said this really kind of at the beginning, but I was very, very happy with it. I wasn't really underwhelmed, disappointed at any parts. Yeah, I don't really know what more I could say. What would I have improved? I really don't know, because I felt like it tied up every end. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to next season of Legends. I think more so not only just because it's wacky and I love the characters like Mick, Nate, and just Legends in general. Legends for me has been one of the few, if not the only Arrowverse show that hasn't severely severely disappointed me this season. But anyway, everybody, let me know your thoughts on the season finale of Legends of Tomorrow. God, please just do. Let's talk about this in the comments below. And let me know what you think could be going on and what Constantine meant at the very end of the episode. Other than that, everybody, I would love it if you could leave a like on this video, if you enjoyed it, that is. And why not subscribe if you're new to this channel for more Arrowverse content just like this. If you liked a little bit of me in this video, then maybe you want to stay a little bit more up to date with me on Twitter or Instagram. Links popping up on the screen around here, or you can click on one of the links in the description. Other than that, guys, I just want to say thank you so much to all my patrons. You make the difference with this channel by far. You make me able to do this a lot more. Your names are popping up on the screen around here. If you guys want to look into my Patreon page or become a patron yourself like these guys did, check out some of the tiers. Link is at the top of the description, so be sure to check that out, and maybe you'll come on board and become a patron. Other than that, guys, I do have a Discord server. Come and join us there. The link to the invite of that server is in the description, where we talk about all things comic book nerdy. Come and talk about Legends with us there. Other than that, everybody, I think that is everything. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.